Hey friends, welcome back to the garden. Or should I say garden center? Because on this day, I was at Lowe's buying some soil for my garden. It's getting to be about that time this season to start topping off all of my garden beds, getting things ready to start putting things in the soil. I had made a deal with my son here that if I loaded all of these bags onto the trolley, he would absolutely load them into the car for me and cart them up to the garden. So that was a deal I could not pass up. This is about 12 bags total, I believe, that I bought, and that's about half of what I'm going to need for all of my flower pots, all of my garden beds, and all of my felt pots that I put up in my garden. So I'll be making another trip back to Lowe's at some point. And I figured after I got all of this taken care of and loaded into the car, I'd just take a little stroll around Lowe's and see what they had out so I could show you, in Zone 7A, what our garden centers have out this time of year. It's not a lot, but I was a little surprised. And bless my son with his young, strong back because he really was a big helper on this day. I needed all of the help I could get. Lowe's had a few flowers out here in 7A, but mostly what I noticed was it was shrubs. They had a few trees, but mostly it was just decorative, like shrubberies. Um, Here you'll see they did have their grapes out and blackberries and raspberries, several different varieties of grapes. That's something I might think about doing in the future. I haven't really decided yet. I know I'd have to have a pretty large dedicated space for grapes, so we'll have to see. They had their strawberries out too, and I don't really think that it was a very good price for the strawberries. I don't have a strawberry bed, but that's another one of those future things. I was going to put a raised bed in and just do strawberries, but let me know, how much do strawberry crowns run you this time of year? The lilies, as always, are beautiful. I do not personally plant lilies, even though I love them because I have cats in the neighborhood. But then I saw this, and it was called an Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia. And I don't know much about this plant, but it was gorgeous. The little flowers on it had the texture of succulents. It was so pretty. And apparently it's pretty hardy and evergreen. More little trees and shrubs, flowering shrubs. It was about here that I caught a whiff of the most beautiful smell, and I realized I was about to hit the roses. I love rose bushes, and that is something I am probably going to be buying this year. I think it's a little early yet, though, but these smelled absolutely amazing. I did remember this time, you guys, to go ahead and pick up my lettuce seeds. Told you I forgot to buy them. I have them now. We're good to go. And I just thought this was funny. They already have tomato plants out with like big full bundles of tomatoes, which is silly. This is my garden bed before I went ahead and prepped it with the fresh soil. And this is it after. And I started to go ahead and spread it on the other beds. You'll see here in a second, I did half the one in the back. But I decided against that because there's nothing going in that bed um, very quickly, and I don't want the soil to dry out and get hydrophobic. And then surprise carrots again, they're doing great. But I've been working on trying to harden off my cabbages and bok choy and kale and stuff, and I was going to put me planting those in this video this week. But unfortunately, this time of year in Western Kentucky, the weather is very unpredictable, and we are going to be having some pretty violent storms today and tomorrow, so I didn't get to it. So that'll be on next week's vlog. Just a little update. I did go ahead and up pot my basil plants. They're getting big and they were just taking over those tiny pots. So I said, what the heck, let's go ahead and get them into bigger pots. Says it's going to be a little bit before I can get them out there. But when you stick your nose in these basil plants, oh my gosh, they smell so good. My office just smells wonderful. You can see these pesky little snapdragons. They're all starting to get their true leaves. So it's going to be time to split them up next week. So y'all will probably see that next week too. My cucamelons are doing good. I do have a question for you more seasoned gardeners, though. Should I split those guys up into larger pots or just leave them planted 2 by 2 like that until they're ready to go into the ground? I don't want to disrupt their roots. Just curious. Tomatoes clearly like their new pots. They've probably grown another 2 or 3 inches. going bonkers. All of my peppers came up except for one, and I'm okay with that. That's plenty. I did go ahead and plant 3 more tomatillo seeds. I have just completely given up on ground cherries, as you'll see here in a second. My little germination experiment here in the wet paper towel, nothing germinated. The ground cherries didn't germinate, the tomatillos didn't germinate, and I don't really know why, because I've only had these seeds for a year and I keep them in a cool, dry, dark environment. I don't have any problems with any of my other seeds, so who knows? I guess we'll just have to play it by ear and see how these other 3 tomatillo seeds do. But for now, that's all I have for you this week, guys. I want to say thanks for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do so. I do cooking videos on Tuesday and gardening vlogs on Friday. Until next time, friends, happy gardening.